Later in the morning, Nyaruko exaggerates what happened the night before, but Mahiro assures everyone that nothing happened. While Nyaruko tries to come up with baby names, Haster runs away crying. Mahiro tries to enlist the assistance of his mother, Yuriko, but she is beginning to approve of Nyaruko, and the Cthulhu girl is excited about a possible future with Mahiro. Mahiro goes to the beach to clear his mind as she devises new schemes, where he meets Haster, who is quickly defeated by Nyaruko. Nyaruko attempts to take him on a date, forcing him to flee, and he later lines Kuko while playing video games in a beach hut, but Kuko is still depressed from the console game war, so Mahiro tries to cheer her up. They discover light on the beach as well, and she reveals that after being fired, she opened a takoyaki stand on the beach. She also apologizes to Haster for disrupting his father's business. Mahiro later discovers that the takoyaki is made from Cthulhu and warns his friends not to eat it. Nyaruko tries to persuade Mahiro to go on a date with her, but she becomes depressed when he tells her that he dislikes her. Yoichi tells Mahiro that he may have been too harsh, and Kuko attempts to exploit the situation before Mahiro intervenes. Yuriko then appears and advises Mahiro to be gentler with Nyaruko because she has worked so hard for them. Mahiro finally, he apologizes to Nyaruko and invites her on a date into town, where they go shopping and eat food together. They end up visiting a shrine and then purchasing sparklers at the festival to use at sunset. Nyaruko later tells him that she enjoyed their date, that she prayed for happiness with him at the shrine, and that she will never stop loving him. The next day, Yuriko takes the group souvenir shopping, and while they're having a good time, Yoichi teases Mahiro, who can't stop laughing. Mahiro finds an old gaming console and presses the play button while reflecting on Nyaruko's confession at the store. He awakens at home, where his mother Yuriko is behaving strangely. Mahiro is wondering what happened to the group when he runs into Nyaruko, who appears to be acting innocently. Haster also notices Kuko, who has become more soft-spoken and treats him well. Haster, who has become more athletic. Mahiro later discovers that Yoichi has turned into a gaming NPC, and Louis arrives to inform him that he is trapped in a dating simulator game that has devoured the group, that the characters of the gaming sim have fused with his friends, and that to exit the game, he must reach one of the game's endings before Louis' signal is disrupted. She warns him to be careful, but secretly, most of his friends are not as affected as they seem and want to use the game for their own goals. Nyaruko approaches Mahiro and insists on setting as many flags as they can together before leaving the game. She attempts to create a swimming event, but Kuko interrupts them, and Mahiro then quickly experiences various game events as a result of an encounter with Haster. Kuko then attacked him, and Nyaruko attempted to perform. Mahiro is later required to work in a cafe with Nyaruko, and at the cafe, Nyaruko and Kuko begin arguing. Mahiro returns home exhausted, and Yuriko asks him if he has chosen a love path to pursue so that they can leave the game. A tired Mahiro attends many game events, and for Christmas, he receives a mini Haster from the real Haster, lingerie from Kuko, which she keeps for herself, and a marriage registration from Nyaruko, which he tears up. She then gives him his true gift, a scarf she made for him. The game then forces the characters to fight each other, and the three fight to determine who gets their game ending. Mahiro is then locked inside a closet. Nyaruko barely wins the duel with Tomeo, who confesses to him during the fight and can reach Mahiro at the game's final event at a hilltop tree. She requests a kiss so they can complete the route and exit the game, and an embarrassed Mahiro kisses Nyaruko, and they complete the game. Except for Mahiro, who remembered everything, the group then returned to the real world with no memory of what had occurred. Mahiro dreams about his kiss with Nyaruko that night. When he wakes up in the morning and discovers Nyaruko hiding in a body pillow, he kicks her out. Tamao cheers up Nyaruko later at school, and Mahiro tells her they need to go grocery shopping because Yuriko will be hunting monsters. Mahiro intends to abandon Haster and Kuko to go on a date with Mahiro, but her attempts to entice Mahiro only work on Kuko. They all end up trying on glasses, and everyone ignores Kuko after they try on different pajamas. Nyaruko receives a call from headquarters about the Dreamlands while shopping in a store. The Dreamlands are important for protecting human dreams, so Nyaruko has been assigned to investigate problems there when Nodons appears on stage declaring himself ruler of the earth, and Louie appears as a magical girl to fight him, but she later flees because it was all a game. Tomo unexpectedly confronts them that evening and attacks Mahiro, who then awakens. Haster explains to Nyaruko that an alien time traveler named Isako has arrived to protect the Earth and has temporarily taken over Tomo's body. She also apologizes for accidentally switching Mahiro's and Nyaruko's bodies. Isuka has been sent to this time period because extreme members of her race intend to subvert human consciousness. She then leaves, saying she will fix their body switch problem tomorrow. Mahiro has difficulty adjusting to Nyaruko's body, and Kuko attempts to exploit the situation before Mahiro fights her and hassles it off. She then notices Nyaruko is unusually happy. To better defend himself, he tricks Kuko into keeping an eye on his own body and Haster in exchange for a future favor while he is Nyaruko. However, Nyaruko takes advantage of the situation at school by asking Mahiro and her body to marry her. She then attempts to confess to him. They are ejected by the teacher. Isuka and Tomo's bodies arrive and apologize for being late to school because she spent the entire night playing video games. They feed her food and she tells them she can switch their bodies back that night. However, Isuka claims that the Earth was destroyed by aliens during her time period, and the time travelers are unsure why. They notice Yoichi is missing from school and investigate his home, where they discover he has been taken over by an extremist. Since Nyaruko is still in his body, Isurugi intends to use a machine to take over the minds of humans so that his species can have better movies and video games. Mahiro asks Haster and Kuko to fight for them, but Isurugi disables their abilities with a device. Isuka arrives and cancels his device, but then he cancels her device. Eventually, Isuka's battery runs out and Isurugi's device is unleashed, but the device appears to do nothing, so they quickly defeat the user. Suddenly, the extremist president communicates through the device, revealing that he has full Isurugi and that the device will destroy Earth. He represents aliens who despise entertainment and want Earth to be destroyed to keep space children safe from corruption. Mahiro uses Nyaruko's body to protect Yoichi as the group attacks the alien device, but when he is nearly killed by the alien, Nyaruko takes the hit. They mourn for Nyaruko, but she was only pretending to be hurt so she could kiss Mahiro. Nyaruko reveals that she used the black charm from earlier to protect his body, and their distraction allows Isuka enough time to charge her device and reset their bodies. Nyaruko returns to her body and transforms into her armored form, easily destroying the machine. Isuka then thanks them and walks away with this Isurugi, but she didn't leave because she wanted to stay with Tomo and play video games, and that night she teases Tomo about her crush on Mahiro. Mahiro becomes enraged one day while trying to sleep because his house is full of aliens who only want to play video games. Suddenly, a girl named Kataten and her butler Roy arrive at Mahiro's house, explaining that his mother Yuriko had invited them to visit. Yuriko explains over the phone that the girl appears to be lost, and she dispatches Kataten to see if Nyaruko can assist. Nyaruko contacts her headquarters and the space police to see if they can assist, hoping to demonstrate to Yuriko that she would be a good future mother. Nyaruko tries to teach Kataten the advantages of dating sim games, but Mahiro steps in. The kitchen suddenly explodes, and several insects appear, which Nyaruko captures using her mirror. Mahiro begins to argue with her but is embarrassed by their kiss because they have made a mess in his house. Mahiro kicks everyone out except Kataten. He cleans up the living room and feeds her while Roy explains that Kataten usually has a lot of maids. He wonders if this is what it's like to have a little sister, and the rest of the group arrives, upset that Mahiro made food without them. They chase him around town. Mahiro runs into Shoggoths in the streets, and Nyaruko arrives to defeat them in her armored form so she can gain more combat experience, passing Yoichi Tamao and Lohei, who are unable to hide him. Kuko and Hastert joined in the fight, but in the end, they discovered Kataten had been injured in the scuffle. Mahiro scolds Nyaruko and the group and orders them to return to space, but they don't show up for dinner that night. The next morning, a distraught Mahiro discovers that everyone has vanished. Mahiro is perplexed but initially pleased that he can have a relaxing morning. However, he becomes restless over time and begins to miss the others. He goes into town because he has nothing better to do, but he quickly discovers that everyone has mysteriously vanished. He calls all of his phone contacts, but no one answers. Mahiro goes to the school to investigate, but no one is there. While remembering his friends' good times, he also investigates the shopping district, the beach where they all went, and the shrine where he prayed with Nyaruko, but he doesn't find anyone. The sky darkens suddenly, and he is attacked by a monster. Mahiro is cornered, so he asks Nyaruko for assistance. Unfortunately for him, he had her mirror, so Mahiro was able to capture the monster. Mahiro asks Kataten if she can help reverse the situation, but the alien girl's butler transforms and attacks him. As she hears him call for help, Nyaruko appears from the mirror and uses her power to break a spell that is trapping him in a false reality. Roy reveals that he kidnapped Mahiro because he enjoys dating sins and she wanted to use his relationship with Nyaruko to lead him to the ultimate dating game. The fight with the Shoggoths was also part of his plan to divide Mahiro and Nyaruko to punish Mahiro for his dislike of dating sins. Nyaruko transforms into her armored form, and the three of them fight Roy's minion alongside Kuko and Haster. Yuriko, riding a chant icon and wielding ice magic, also joined the group as reinforcements. When Roy briefly captures Nyaruko, Mahiro assists in her release, allowing her to summon her ultimate close combat sword and defeat him. The alien girl apologizes for causing so much trouble. Everyone jumps Mahiro that evening, and they celebrate with a barbecue together, during which Nyaruko confesses to Mahiro once more. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.